Through these halls, where lovers get lost and lust consumes the wicked, a place where reality collides with fantasy, in the pages where romance is second to none. Welcome to the Lover's Library.
Oh, we're recording?
Hey, lover.
I'm Carlie.
I'm Sydney.
And I'm Zoe.
And we are here.
Welcome back to the Lover's Library podcast.
Kinda, sorta. We
We're not allowed to do that
are
anymore.
a little slap happy tonight, but that's okay.
I'm tired.
We're here for
Me
it.
too.
We are going to have an interesting episode because we read the book Love Your Life by Sophie Kinsella. And
I didn't read it.
Zoe didn't finish it. Sydney and I both finished it.
She's a
And
liar.
Sorry.
You didn't finish it either?
Girl, I didn't know. I want to read
Oh,
this book.
hell.
We're going to
Well,
talk about it. We're going to
anyways.
talk about it.
Anyways,
I can't lie to you.
just let you know, this podcast is honest and we're going to be transparent. And none of us really dug it all that much. So
We'll talk about it.
we're going to do an abbreviated version of this book. And then we're also going to talk about,
My favorite book in the whole entire world.
and I finally
Also
read
mine.
it.
Thank goodness.
If you can guess what book,
P
I'm
and P.
so excited.
Pride and Prejudice.
Bum, bum, bum.
So let's get into
Meow, meow,
Love
meow,
Your
meow.
Life by Sophie Kinsella. These two. Oh, gosh.
Oh, geez.
So, what's the scoop? Surprise, Sophie Kinsella is not her real name.
What is it?
Her real name is Madeline or Madeline. I'm not
Okay.
real sure. Sophie Wickham.
Like Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah, she's British.
Wickham?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's British. But
Like
Is
Pride and
she
Prejudice.
evil?
yeah,
Those are all are associated with Pride and Prejudice.
I know. I read this book and then I read Pride and Prejudice and I was like, look at that. So, anyways, she is most known for her books, The Secret Dream World of a Shopaholic and Shopaholic Abroad. And these were actually made into a movie.
That's where I know her from. Maybe
Yes.
I hadn't read her book, but I knew her
Yes.
name.
And the
Was
movie
it
was
Confessions?
Confessions of a Shopaholic.
Shut up.
Yeah,
Have you read it before?
Everybody and their mother knows that movie.
I haven't. I don't think.
I didn't know it was based off a book, but
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, after this book, I don't know if I want to read it.
Yeah. Well, maybe they're different. Well, no. The other series is what that is made off of. So it's not
makes
based off
sense.
of this book.
Yeah, but I meant like,
Because
Well, if they were that good for them to make a movie, I'm sure they're pretty
maybe
good.
that was just a breakout hit, you know? You
Yeah.
can't have a hit every time. You
True.
can't have a hit every time.
I could.
Well,
I'm just
I
joking.
could hit somebody every time.
she's like, I could hit that every time.
Dead.
This book is about a girl named Ava, and she is a lover of life and all things. She gets to her, she goes to a retreat in Italy. It's a writer's retreat, and she's going there to work on her novel. While there, she meets someone named Dutch, or is that his name? No personal information can be shared at the retreat, including names. Ava falls madly in love with him. His name is really Matt. But
Spoiler
can
alert.
their relationship withstand the real world?
You can't.
It can't. Lovers quarrel. So, I loved the characters when they were in Italy.
Yes, and that was everybody's take on it. Like,
Everyone's better
yeah.
on vacation.
I wish that would have followed throughout the book.
Yeah.
Like how they were there,
Yes.
but it didn't. It switched like as soon as they got back
Mm-hmm.
to
Because
London.
this is the kicker. They weren't sharing any of their personal information. They weren't
Right.
sharing anything that they liked,
Right.
what they didn't like, who they were,
Mhm.
what their jobs were.
Right.
Basically, any information. They stuck to it and didn't share anything. And they didn't even tell each other where they lived till they were like getting ready to go home.
Right. And it was like an abrupt ending to the I was really about to touch the mic. And it was like an abrupt kind of into the Italy
Yeah.
situation.
Well, and Ava came on strong,
Mm-hmm.
like from the get-go.
mm-hmm.
She's like, I love him. He's the one. Like, I was like, girl, you don't even know anything about him.
Right. Exactly.
Obviously, he has to have some financial stability to be able to afford to go to this like retreat in Italy.
Right. Right.
But at the same time, it's like he could be anybody. She was just like, oh my gosh. But I was just shocked when Matt or Dutch said that he loved her so soon. And
it was an instant love.
Yeah,
for sure.
And he wanted to make things work. Like he wanted to continue their relationship after Italy. I was like, oh, so you're just as fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Like, you guys are killing me. But then they got home and everything just kind of fell apart because they realized like she is fucking weird.
Yeah.
Did you feel like that?
Yes.
I liked her in Italy. As soon as she came home, I was like, this chick is a freaking nutcase.
Yeah, she flipped the script for sure.
I was like, she's a completely different. She lives in an apartment. Nothing matches, which I don't care if your stuff doesn't match. But it was just like, no, it was too much. It was like one day she liked the color pink, and then the next day she liked the color purple, and then the next day she liked frogs, and it was just.
Is that Zoe?
Does your whole is your whole house like that? I'm sure it has some consistency of things that you like.
It started off really cute and like matching decorated, and I slowly realized that I hate all of those things. And
that's fine.
I'm trying to change it.
It's called maximalism.
No, this book, you can't tell me this girl isn't fucking crazy.
You do the hard R, the crazy, like
crazy. She's fucking crazy.
Did I send you that TikTok of the?
You did.
Oh my gosh, you do it. My boss does it too.
Still, like, I can't hear it.
I have to listen.
Graham cracker.
You know,
you hear that R? Graham cracker.
Well,
graham cracker.
Totally
different.
Oh my god.
Anyway, what is the word that you just said? Sorry.
Crazy.
But
I really exaggerated at that time.
When
same difference.
I knew she was crazy in the very beginning when she was talking about she went on a date with somebody because of his eyes.
Well, I was like, I don't think that's necessarily crazy because
I do.
She might have been attracted to his eye. I freaking love Adam's eyes.
Yeah, but
I have a thing for guys with blue eyes. So like that was one of the first things that I was attracted to with on Adam was his eyes. And so I don't think that's necessarily.
It just felt like she got broken up with and immediately went, I'm just going to find somebody that I think is attractive.
Well, I think
which is fine, whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
But she went so hard about her friends. And then she was like, I have a date. I don't know. It just pissed me off.
Well, I feel like that leads you into kind of the problem with like towards the middle of the book when she was talking about these deal breakers and kind of trying to change who Matt was.
Yeah.
And
which I thought he was really cool.
Yeah, I liked him.
Like I liked his character.
Yeah. I wish we had less of her and more of him.
Yeah. He had his own quirks, but it wasn't anything that was like absolutely absurd. Like just her I bought this book. She would buy books at bookstores because she felt like no one else would buy that book. So she had to buy the book.
Zoe, is it?
Do you do that? Does she do that?
Explain your face.
So she's going to buy.
You're an empathetic book buyer?
I'm incredibly empathetic. I do this thing where if I am adopting an animal, I usually adopt the ugliest one because nobody else wants it. But
that's different. It's
I also
living,
do that.
Thing.
I do it with inanimate objects.
Like, for example, what?
Stuffed animals.
Stuffed animals.
I can't have any of them on the bed.
Gosh. Wait, can
that
you say
was when
what?
I was younger.
Can you say what Peyton just said?
Oh, that's fine.
He said that I had to sleep with all of the stuffed animals on the bed or none of them because they would feel left out.
Oh my!
I don't do that as an adult.
No, okay. Then that's fine. This woman is buying
I thought you
books.
were doing that now.
No, you're not. You are a caring person. You're concerned about how others feel.
This joke ain't a book.
She's crazy.
Can eat rocks.
Stop defending her.
Kick rocks.
Kick rocks. Not eat rocks.
I will say I don't know anything because I think I got like 5 chapters in, max.
Yeah, you're fine. Don't worry about it.
Did you have like...
And I'm mad because I paid for this book.
Never.
Yeah. I just bought the copy.
It was on Kindle Unlimited or Libby.
No.
Libby.
It's not on Kindle Unlimited.
It was on Libby. I read it on my Kindle. I did not buy this book.
I feel like there was a hold on it or something.
It was probably me.
Because I ended up getting a different book.
She was your block.
That's okay.
And I'm sorry.
Was there something that you wanted to talk about specifically from this book? Like an issue that you saw? Like a topic?
My biggest issue was... Let me find it. You have to know and be attracted to a person more than just physically.
Yes and amen.
Because these two would hate each other. He's like thinking she's crazy, all her furniture, this is insane. And she's over there thinking he's got this crazy art that scares me. It's scary art. And then they'd fuck.
Girl.
And then they're madly in love again.
Girl.
I was like, can we just like, that's not okay.
No.
You can just hook up every once in a while and not be together.
That's different. Like, don't try to, you guys can hook up and be like fuck buddies or whatever you want to be, friends with benefits, but don't like, she was moved into his apartment.
That's wild.
Practically living with him. They didn't even know each other.
Yeah.
It was just completely bizarre.
I feel like this book should have ended at Italy as like a one-off kind of thing, and like never see each other when they got back to
or maybe they
London.
bumped into each other.
Yeah.
In London and started dating the normal way.
Right. But yeah, I feel like
I don't
there
think
was
they
a
would
lot
have
of
been
red
together.
flags. She was the red flag, and it's normally like the guy.
Yeah.
She was the red flag.
She was the red flag. There's nothing he did that was extremely disturbing. Like, he liked art. This one artist had like really, it was like gothy art, really. And I was like, that sounds cool.
Like witchy kind of gothy?
Like, what was the one? One of his favorite pieces of art that he had was of this bird. I believe it was like a raven or something. But it
like the poem?
But it had human teeth.
Oh, okay.
Creepy, but okay.
Great Halloween core.
I know, I was like laughing at it. It's really funny. And he really liked the art and he liked the artist because of the artist's history.
Mm-hmm.
Like the guy had a really good story.
Right.
And that's why he was so passionate about this artist. And Ava and Matt get in a fight and she goes back to his apartment and accidentally breaks the painting.
Oh my gosh.
Like it was like 3-dimensional. Or whatever, so it like came off of the she accidentally broke it. She didn't mean to, but
immediately.
But did she?
Yeah,
immediately no.
So, but I really only kept reading because I really wanted to see how the author was going to turn this cluster into a fairy tale. And I said, insert eye roll, because I knew these two idiots were going to make it work, and somehow they were going to end up together, and they did.
What happened? What made it come together?
She went back
to Italy. Just kidding.
She did.
No, she did not.
She did. He basically told her, you have all these ideas and all these interests, but you never follow through with anything.
Red flag.
And she's like, you're so obsessed with work that you can't step away.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, you don't even like your job. You're not even passionate about it. You're in it because it's your family business and you work with your ex. And
that now, okay, hold on. What did you think about the ex coming back into the picture?
I knew he didn't like her.
Right.
But
were you shocked when she came back?
No.
To the book?
No.
Do you think we
with
needed
how
that?
Obsessed the mom was? No, I was for sure they were going to be in it.
Mm-hmm. But anyways, back to you work with your ex. You're in the family business.
So they were like, they each had their own like big red flags.
Right.
And they broke up. And she took time to go back to Italy because she's like, he's right. Like, I can't finish anything I start and I'm a mess.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like, I'm going to go to Italy and I'm not coming back until I finish this book.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what her book was about?
What?
Her fucking dog.
Oh,
I thought it was a romance.
My gosh.
Her book was about her dog.
The storyline was...
It turned into a book about her dog. So, yeah. So she comes home and she, what does she do? She does something right away. Oh, she wants to go surprise her friends.
Mm-hmm.
And she's going to her friend's house. I forget her name. Nell.
Love that name.
She's going to Nell's house and she realizes that they're not there, but she hears them coming. And the person that she hears is Matt.
Mm-hmm.
And he's screaming at the jerk at Nell's apartment complex that keeps parking in her handicap spot.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, oh my gosh, like he's actually defending Nell. And then she's like, wait a second, why is he with Nell? She's like, this is really weird.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, get out of her parking spot. And he's like, she's handicapped, she needs that spot, blah 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 blah. And the guy was just like, I'm sorry, man, I'm sorry, I'll get out of her spot, I didn't know.
Right.
And they pull in and Nell gets out and she is with Topher.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one of Matt's roommates.
Mm-hmm.
And
wait, how old is he?
Oh,
how old is Matt?
They're like in their late 20s.
Oh, okay.
Early
okay,
30s,
okay,
maybe.
Okay.
It seemed normal to me.
Okay.
I didn't think it was weird.
Okay.
But I also liked all of the male characters more than all of the female characters.
Oh.
Yeah.
Rough.
I thought her friends were kind of annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, his were great. I loved his friends. But so anyways, yeah, spoiling the end of the book.
This whole podcast is a spoiler.
Right. So Topher gets out of the car and then all of a sudden she sees him getting and helping Nell out and she's like, they're practically carrying her into the apartment.
Uh-huh.
And she's like, what the hell? When I left, she was fine. Like, what's happening?
Mm-hmm.
Well, she had gotten really sick
when
Ava was in Italy doing her book.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was like really weak and not like able to move around a lot. But like all of Matt's friends were coming in to help and they had all became like
a family,
friends in a family, like without her.
Uh-huh.
But she still like seen it from the outside. She was like, oh my gosh, like, wow.
Yeah.
And so she went inside. They were all excited to see her. They all talked. And basically Matt was like, hey, can I take you on a date?
And they kind of restarted.
And they basically like restarted. And he had quit working for his mom and dad and started, I can't even remember. I think he's working with his friend Topher.
Mm-hmm.
I think they are working in a company together and it was really successful and doing well. And she was like, I finished my book. And her other friend had helped clean out her apartment and like get all those unfinished projects out. So she was like, my house is coming together. Like, I'm taking care of my shit. He's like, I'm taking care of my shit.
Right.
And then they like got back
so that
together.
they can start at an even playing field.
Yep.
Kind of a blank slate.
Yep.
Well, that's good for them.
Yes. But I said, my last comment was, cool, they made it work. Next.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Next.
You know, there was one thing in the very beginning of the book that I was like, that's not the correct way that I would use a saying. When you say like hot and bothered, in my head, I imagine it's like
a sexy.
Yeah, you're riled up, a little horny.
Right.
But she said it was something about her dog.
Ew.
But I don't think she meant it in that way.
That's funny.
Okay.
I have the
Well, she is British, so maybe she got the thing wrong.
I don't know, because I thought maybe she was angry about something. I don't know.
Well, I guess it could be either. Like, I'm hot and bothered about you not taking the trash out, or I'm hot and bothered because you did the dishes. You know, kind of, you know.
Yes, that does make sense.
While you're looking that up, I was going to talk about. So if you're not into super spicy books, this book might be a good one for you. Because there really wasn't a whole lot of spice in it. But did you read the part about Matt presenting his writing to the class?
No.
You didn't read that. You didn't get that far.
No.
You didn't get very far at all.
Mm-mm.
So him and her hook up while they're in Italy.
Yeah.
And the next day, they have an assignment in their writing thing to write a little short story.
Right.
And so he writes about the sex that they had the night before.
No, he does not.
Yeah. And she incorporates a little bit of the spice that happened. And then so she shares her story in class, and it had like one key point, like it was a food that they had eaten, and she mentions this food in her story.
Okay.
And then he goes to share his story, and it's like very descriptive, talking about very descriptive things.
That giggle.
And everyone's kind of like, huh. And then he mentions the same food that she mentions.
No,
everyone's like,
everyone's
like, whoa, wait, what? And then the teacher like cuts him off, and she's like, I think that's enough. I think we'll be done for the day with this. And the one guy was like, someone in the class said, I don't know about everybody else, but I would like to hear what else Matt has to say.
How it finished and everything.
So that part made me laugh a lot.
Oy, oy, oy.
I did fuck, marry, kill.
Okay.
With these guys. And I said I would fuck Matt.
Okay.
But I would marry Topher.
Okay.
You didn't meet Topher.
Nope.
But he was probably my favorite character.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like it. You've mentioned him.
He was
a couple of times.
He was funny, sarcastic. He was actually like really caring. Like he probably gave Ava more emotional support than anybody in the whole book. Like she came to him with some issues, and he like actually gave her constructive like thoughts and
like a
ways to help. Yeah.
Right.
He was just, I really liked him. So I would marry him. And then I said for a kill, it would be a tie between Matt's mom or Genevieve, the ex.
Genevieve.
And I said, but most likely Genevieve.
Or Ava. Just get her off the island.
She seems better now. We'll let her have a.
She gets to live, I guess.
We'll give her a pass on
Genevieve. That's how you say it in French. Genevieve.
Genevieve.
I know that from a Rush Hour movie. The one in Paris.
I love Rush Hour.
Me too. It's one of my favorites.
Well, and then I said I would pass this book.
Pass. Smash
Also
or pass? We're passing.
Yeah, pass. We're all passing. Sorry, Sophie. Sorry. I hope you made some money. Well, you did. You made some money off of Zoe.
Yeah, at least me too. I bought it in person.
You guys bought the book, so she made a little bit of money off of that book. So that's it for that
book.
one.
Now listen. Okay, now let's get into the nitty gritty. Okay, this next book is a book that I read probably back.
Fuck Mrs. Bennett.
Oh, for real. Okay, wait. Let me.
I just wanted to say that. I've been holding it in for so long.
I read this book when I was in elementary, I believe, and it was like one of the first books that I chapter books that I read that my dad forced me to read, and I'm so glad he forced me to read it because it was beautiful from the beginning, to me at least, and like a whole society of people. But okay, let me tell you about this book. There are Elizabeth. What?
You must have been a lot more mature than me because that book was hard to read.
Yes,
the verbiage was difficult.
It is
to get through.
I try to reread it as an adult.
How old were you when you read it? Like I was reading Lemony Snicket, Series of
12?
Unfortunate Events. Yeah, I was
12.
I was not reading
Pride
I
was
and
probably
Prejudice.
reading an unabridged version.
Oh, I wonder if mine's. What's this? The classic.
Yeah, I don't think that's an unabridged. Well, it was for like my age.
Oh, okay.
You know,
So
like
maybe
there was
it's
a
an easier read.
Jane Eyre one, and I read that and it was unabridged too. That one was a rough read. Oof, tough. And anyways, so
sorry, I won't interrupt. Now.
Elizabeth Bennet is the main heroine of our story. She is a sister. She is the second oldest to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
What?
There's the oldest. There's Jane, Elizabeth, Kitty, Lydia, and Mary.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
So there's 5 girls. Sorry, there's 5.
Yeah, 5. Oh yeah, so I was right. There's only 5 of them.
Elizabeth is the second oldest. She has 2 parents, Mr. and Mrs. Bennet. They live in the countryside, this small town, and they're all looking for a wealthy husband.
This is the era. The
Elizabethan kind of
you have a
Victorian
daughter of
area.
Age, so now we need to find her a husband that makes money, because in the time, the parents would receive a monthly or yearly payment from the husband.
Like the dowry or whatever.
Yeah. The dowry is kind of what you initially put.
Yeah, the dowry is the initial, I want to marry your daughter. The family would pay him, didn't they?
Yeah. Yes.
She had a dowry that she would pay him.
Yes. And that was one of the reasons why in that era there was like a lot of wife hunters, because if a guy was like, had a bunch of debt, he would go and try to find a wealthy, wife, so that he could take that money and use it for gambling or whatever.
Yeah.
And then leave her high and dry, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a couple of guys that come into town. They're going to a ball, and we hear word through town, because it spreads fast because it's a small town, that they are both wealthy and single and ready to mingle.
And one of them has purchased a home in the area.
And his really, kind of dark mysterious buddy is also along. And the buddy got more money than Mr. Bingley. Okay?
Mr. Bingley is the one that bought the house.
Yes. And he has 2 sisters who are snooty and whatever.
Bitches.
And that's where kind of the story begins.
Mm-hmm.
And so let's jump into it.
Fuck Mrs. Bennet.
Well, I kind of get where she's okay.
No.
If you had 5 daughters.
That bitch is crazy.
She is. But if you had 5
Mr.
daughters.
Bennet, how you vex me.
Now, okay, and her nerves, and she got on my nerves.
She's annoying as hell.
But I think a lot of her annoyance that we got from her is just her trying to take care of her daughters, because she knows that Mr. Bennet didn't have no money to take care of the daughters if they didn't marry wealthy.
I still don't like her.
Yeah. I mean, she's not my favorite character.
She's gossipy.
Yeah. She was very regular kind of.
She could have just been nicer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that's too fast forwarded.
Let's just jump into it.
Okay, well, like when they're trying to get Elizabeth to marry the cousin.
Oh, girl.
And Mrs. Bennet.
Disgusting.
And Elizabeth is like, absolutely not.
He's so annoying.
I would rather.
They was pushing that.
Yeah. And she's like, no, I'd rather live and be single for the rest of my life than marry
And
you.
it was so rude that he's like, you're not as pretty, so I guess you're my second choice.
Right.
What's his name?
Mr.
Collins?
No, not
Mr. Collins.
Collins, yeah, Mr.
Yeah.
Collins.
All right,
Ugh.
let's go back a little bit.
I told you.
Oh yeah, you're right. When you're right, you're right. So, okay, let's go to the first ball that happens in the book.
Yes.
Everybody from town is basically there. The 2 sisters of Mr. Bingley are kind of like, we are in a country town, and this is not how we do it in London.
I think Mr. Bingley was having a blast.
He was. Yeah. His sisters weren't, because they're too high
and
society.
Mr. Darcy were being little snooties.
The same. And so they're having the party. Mr. Bingley sees Jane, which is the oldest sister of the Bennets. And he approaches her, and they dance a couple of times, which is in that time period a big deal. That means that he is interested because he danced with her a couple of times.
Because the dances were very long.
Yes. And you committed to that dance.
I wish we still danced like that.
I want to go to a ball.
It looked
Me
fun.
too. Let's have one.
Well, hey,
Let's
you
do
guys.
it.
Hey, wait. You guys should read ACOTAR, and then we can go to a Starfall ball. They
I'll
have
go to the
these.
Starfall ball without reading the book.
You gotta read the book.
Oh my gosh!
But you can go. They have these balls where you dress
Balls?
all fancy like fairies and go.
Oh my God.
Doesn't it sound fun?
Girl,
Okay.
I will go without reading the book. Give me the synopsis on the way there.
Shit.
It's too long. It's 5 books. 4 books? How many?
5, and they're really freaking good.
They're
and you'll
huge.
read them really fast.
They are thickums.
It becomes your life, and you will not be able to put them down.
This is what Pride and Prejudice has become. I don't need another obsession.
It's better than Pride and Prejudice.
Okay.
Don't ever say that again.
Yeah. We're going to get canceled.
I'm going to cancel us.
Okay, so wait.
She dances twice.
And then one of my favorite parts of this first part is when Darcy and Bingley are talking, and Bingley is talking to Darcy like, have you danced with anybody? He's like, no, I've only danced with your sister. Da, 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 da. And Bingley was like, have you seen Jane's sister Elizabeth? And Elizabeth is like right behind like where they're talking.
Yeah.
And
so
she's eavesdropping a little bit. She knows she's eavesdropping and she still does. And he was like,
I would too.
What does she say? She is like, basically, he said, she's barely passable and I don't want to dance with her. Basically to that
He's
extent.
like, she's okay.
Yeah.
That bitch is ugly.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. And she like walks away in a huff and goes and tells her family what he said. And they're like all against him now.
Which her mom tells the whole town.
Yeah.
So everybody fucking hates him. Which is fine, whatever.
What's your tagline for Miss Bennett?
Fuck Mrs. Bennett.
Yeah. Every time there's a moment to say that, you should say it.
Okay, well.
There's a lot of them.
Mrs. Bennett.
So then Jane gets invited to the Bingley home.
And this is where Mrs. Bennett is a psychotic bitch.
She is. So, say your tagline.
Fuck Mrs. Bennett.
Every time I point you, I need you to say it, okay?
Tell them why.
So Jane gets sick on her way. Well, okay, no.
Can I tell it?
Girl, tell me the tea.
Okay.
Wait.
So.
Wait. Tell us like you're telling the tea, okay? I need you to be just like that. I need that energy because I need the energy.
Okay.
Tell me like you're telling me the tea at brunch.
So,
with some mimosa.
This bitch was like, hey, girl, it's about to rain.
Korean?
So why don't you take the horse so that it'll take you longer to get there? Without the carriage, just the horse. Go trotty on the horse.
Trotty.
In the times where people die over a cough.
Yeah, and it's 3 miles, okay? 3 miles on the horse, knowing that it's about to rain, knowing that they won't send you back on the horse because that's outrageous.
Right.
And if you do that, you'll have to stay at his house and you'll get longer time with him.
For a fortnight, which is like 2 weeks.
So she agrees. And what do you know? It rains.
And she gets sick.
She gets so sick. Like for a week.
Yeah. For a fortnight.
Like very sick.
That's 2 weeks.
And all because her mom is crazy.
So then what happens, girl?
So then Elizabeth is like,
I'm going to go see my sister.
I have to go. Like, I'm so worried about her. I have to go see her.
She was like, Mom, you literally fucking suck.
Yeah. So you know what this badass did?
What'd she do, girl? What she
goes, fuck the carriage. I'll walk.
She does.
So she walks the 3 miles.
Gets her skirts muddy.
She's all dirty and muddy and just looks like a filthy little street rat.
Not a street rat.
And she gets in there. And Mr. Bingley's little snooty sisters are like taken aback. They're like, oh my God.
Her skirts are muddy.
What has she done?
That sounded so good.
She traipsed that whole way here in the dirt.
Not traipsed.
I was like, fuck off.
All right. So then Elizabeth stays at the house along with Jane and the Bingley family and Darcy. So, okay. Now this is one of my favorite parts. I have a lot of them. So
me too.
Do you want me to stop talking and you interrupt?
Yeah, you
no, because I don't know if your favorite part is my favorite part.
Is it when they're walking around the room?
No.
Okay, we're not there yet.
Me.
Okay, so one night
so
I think Jane is still not feeling well, so she's in her room upstairs, and everybody is kind of in the parlor area. I think some people are, playing cards. Darcy's writing a letter to his sister, and Jane is Elizabeth is sitting on the couch reading a book. And one of the Bingley sisters stops playing cards. She's like, I just need to, move my legs a little bit, and she starts walking around. And in order to kind of like get on Elizabeth's nerves, she's like, you should walk with me and we can show our figures or whatever. And Elizabeth's like, okay. So she gets up, and then the Bingley sister mentions that out loud, and Darcy says something like, I'd rather you be reading a book than going around showing off your figure.
Yeah, which I love that.
Yeah. And so Elizabeth was like, Okay, whatever. I still don't like you because you call me ugly, but whatever. And so, and then the Bingley sister is like, whatever. And then,
because she's got the hots for him.
Yeah, of course. The man got money. Okay.
Yeah.
Have you seen Pembroke? Pemberley. It's Pemberley. Pemberley. Have you seen Pemberley?
That's their house.
That's Darcy's house.
Yeah, that's his.
That's Darcy's
estate.
fucking
His
castle
estate, yeah.
and land and.
It's an estate, honey. It's not a house. Place. It's an estate with land and acres. Oh, your foot got a cramp in it. It's got a cramp. Oh no! I hate that. I hate that in the middle of the night. Sorry.
I think on that part she said something about like, because he mentioned that women that read are more knowledgeable or something like that, and she's like, oh yeah, I'm sure you know a lot of women like that, because like in that time they didn't really read a whole lot.
No, they didn't. They weren't really allowed to.
So it was kind of funny that she made like that comment. I was like, hey.
I love her.
Dumb broad.
All right, so then after that, Jane gets better, but she's being like the coy, like, I like you, but I'm not gonna let you know. I just want you to feel the vibes.
Yeah, I think she's like acting like a ditzy blonde the whole time, and I just hate it.
Yeah,
Jane.
I wish she was a little more forward. Like,
Me too.
I think
you don't have to be shy all the time.
Like really shy. Yeah.
And that's
like,
fine, but also,
the man got money. You should.
I'd be
get
like,
it, girl.
hey, this hand is really empty.
Right.
You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
in the end, it wouldn't have mattered what she said, because Mr. Darcy.
What happened, girl? Wait. You tell me
what was
happened.
your favorite part?
Tell me what happened
You
next.
didn't tell us what your favorite part of that scene was.
My favorite part was, okay, so the first time that I read this book, I was in high school in an interpersonal communications class.
Wow,
And
that's
so
a high school class?
Yeah. And we had to focus on all the interpersonal communications, so like any kind of touch and things like that. And that really made me love this book more, because he like says all this mean shit about Elizabeth, right? But then when they're leaving the Bingley's place, he helps her in the carriage, just like barely touches her hand, and they both kind of look at each other, and she's like, what was that? And that's when you're like, okay,
there's something more.
Is
this the hand flex part in the movie? Well, that they're not leaving the Bingleys. She is leaving Darcy's home. The hand flex is at Darcy's home. That's towards the end.
Is that in the movie?
Yeah.
Is that in the book?
That part is that the one you're talking about. If you're talking about the movie,
no,
there's
I
a part
just don't remember
like right
that
there
from the book.
at that point.
yeah, because in the movie it's in a different part,
The hand flex is at the end.
but it's not a
It's not a
hand
Bingley's.
flex. It's he like holds your hand, kind of.
He does, right when
Yeah.
they're You're
Yeah.
right. You're right.
I was like, am I crazy?
No, you're right. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
I don't remember that part.
But anyways, I like them.
So, anyways, after that, here's where the things start going wrong. So, the Bingleys are about to leave, and Jane is better, and I think they have one more ball before the Bingleys leave, and Jane is not giving him enough signs for him to be like, this is a for sure thing. I should act on it. And
This part's kind of shitty, but also I kind of agree with Mr. Darcy.
yeah. So basically Darcy is like, boy, she don't like you like that. Why don't we just leave? Why don't we go? You can find somebody else in London. You know, we can find you somebody better that has a dowry, that has kind of, you know, some influence, like your money allows you to have.
Not a terrible family.
She ain't interested. Like, it's not happening.
It ain't that deep. And
Well, I think he had to go back. Mr. Bingley already had to go back.
yeah.
And he left, and then they were like, oh, hey, we got to go with him, because we got to tell him we just don't need to come back.
Yeah. So then Jane, of course, is heartbroken. And I don't remember exactly how Elizabeth found out about the reason why they left. I think it was her friend Charlotte that said.
No, it was in her. It was in the letter from Mr. Darcy.
Later on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
At the very end. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He writes her the letter explaining why he
did that.
yeah.
But Jane is at this point in the book, and I think this is like probably
Jane just
right before midway. Yeah. And she's heartbroken because he kind of left without a word and without a proposal or without like a significant, you know, reasoning as to why they're leaving and if he's coming back. So then after that, the cousin comes and he's like the heir for whatever is left after Mr. Bennett passes away.
Mr. Collins.
Mr.
I
Collins.
literally hate him.
I really hate
And
him.
okay, I thought this was weird, and I really didn't like this escapade that they went on in the book. I mean, Jane Austen could have left this part out, but the whole older rich lady,
for the time.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I felt like we could have left that out, Jane. Be honest with you, Miss Austen. We could have left it out. Honestly,
we had her name a lot.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
This guy, honestly, this Joker could have been with that old lady if he really wanted. I mean,
For
she
real.
wouldn't have wanted it,
What
but
was her name?
Lady Catherine de Bourgh.
DeBro.
I am an old lady named Catherine de Bourgh.
Just made me think of that every time I saw that.
Mr. Cullen.
Yeah, for
Mr.
real.
Collins.
And I hated that, like, he was trying to marry her, but kept calling her cousin. I was like,
Yeah.
so stop that.
I hated how mad Elizabeth was at her friend Charlotte.
Yes.
Because I was like,
Me
girl,
too.
she just took one for the team.
For
But
real.
I also wish Charlotte would just shut up.
Yes.
And I'm sorry, maybe people would think you were prettier if you acted like you thought you were prettier. Like, not
it's a mindset thing.
exactly.
It really is.
I feel like you can fake confidence and then people are like, damn, that girl is hot.
Mm-hmm.
And you cannot think that about yourself.
Mhm.
But this girl was like, I'm trash. I gotta marry somebody and might as well marry the creep.
Right. The what is
thing.
the clergy? What? No. Well, he's like a
Yeah, I think he was.
he's a clergy. He's in the clergy
Yeah.
field. I forget what
Yeah.
they call him though.
Well, I mean, everyone. It seemed like her family was all just basically like, yeah, you're just gonna have to find somebody.
with no money and no prospects. That's what it is on the
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
I want to do that sound on Instagram. I have it saved.
Oh my
I am
gosh.
27 with no money and no prospects.
Oh.
And that's the reason why we don't like Charlotte, because like, girl, get it together.
Yeah. But I mean, she got a husband. She got a house. She said,
she's covered for life with Catherine.
I lock him out. This is my room.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to do that in my house, my little craft room. And then Peyton came in. He said, hey, I'm going to put my computer in here.
And he just moved it more.
That's how my library turned it into a game room library
And a podcast room.
and a podcast room.
But we're invited.
Yeah.
No
Okay,
boys
so
allowed.
then we figure out that Catherine de Bourgh is Fitzwilliam Patsworth. No, Fitzwilliam
That was really
Darcy.
close.
Yeah.
Words.
Darcy. That's his aunt. That's his auntie.
Mhm.
So that's kind of the connection there. It was a weird side journey that we didn't really need to go on.
Right.
Mhm.
But okay, let's get into the real team. So there's a guy named what's his name? The W name. The evil guy, the villain.
Wickham.
Wickham.
Which, I'm sorry, you should have just known.
Yeah.
With that
So,
name.
Let me tell you about my boy Wickham.
What was his?
I want to say Phil, but that's a
I was going to say something with an F.
Did we even
Phil
get
starts
their
with a
first
P.
names?
Yeah, but like it makes the same
Phineas?
sound.
what is his name? Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Poseidon.
So Wickham used to be a kind of a friend, I think really a schoolmate of Darcy's. And the reason why there's issues between him and Darcy
Fuck that guy.
is because this Joker was, eyeing Darcy's little sister.
Who's like 14.
Yeah, she little. And he was trying to move in on her because
For
he
the
knew
money.
that Darcy had money.
He more than tried to. He was
almost
like,
did. He was almost successful.
Basically kidnapped her.
Which happens later on in the
Well, I
book
thought that
Yeah.
to a different character.
I thought they were intimate. Is that incorrect?
I
Did
don't think-
misunderstand that.
I don't think that they were. I think it was that close.
Okay.
They were almost at that situation before Darcy stepped in.
Thank God he did.
Yeah. So,
That's called grooming.
it is. So, Elizabeth and Wickham meet up by chance. Not really. pretty sure it was his.
On the street.
So Wickham and Elizabeth meet up by chance. And Darcy sees the meetup, I think, initially. And he gives Wickham a weird look. Like, bro, don't mess with them. Basically, he gives him a hard look. And Elizabeth is with her sisters, and they're going to go get ribbons, and that's the whole thing. So Darcy tries to warn Elizabeth, but she doesn't like him. She's annoyed by Darcy already, so she ignores him, and her and Wickham start this relationship almost.
I know, but you're kind of like, you're just jealous. I know you called me ugly, but like this guy likes me and now you're mad.
Exactly. Yeah. That was the vibes for sure. And I think she was just trying to get her lick back on old dude, on Darcy.
100%.
Like I'm accepted by somebody just as beautiful as you.
Yeah, I'd be like, I hate you, but also as soon as you accept me, I am down.
Right.
But she wasn't.
I know.
Darcy came for her.
She's much better than I am, because I would have been like,
buddy.
Okay, let's go.
Can you okay, so one of you take over the part where Darcy, the first proposal.
Darcy's proposal?
Yeah.
When it's raining?
It's not that
one.
That's
the second one.
Girl,
I know.
It don't rain in the book.
This is
It rains in the movie.
It always rains.
I know, which I need to watch, but you guys are pulling stuff up that was not in the book, and I'm like,
this is at Mr. Collins' home, because she was meeting Catherine.
That's when he gave her the letter, right?
No, that was the second. That was after Lydia. The whole situation with Lydia.
She was upset. That might be why she
was
locked herself up.
Because I do think he did give her a letter, but it was after the proposal. It was an explanation later
because she said no.
Yeah.
Yes, and he was like, he left it. He came back to the cottage that Mr. Collins had. And he gave her the letter and was like, I don't ever have to talk to you again, but I wanted to explain my frustration with Wickham. And so he gave her the letter. She reads it. She's like, oh, okay. I actually kind of like this boy. Mm-hmm. Then she gets a notified about Lydia and Wickham being together.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Like running
First
off
of all,
together.
Ew, Lydia,
girl, she was a red flag to begin with.
She sure was. She was down for it. She said, I'm going to throw every handkerchief I have and hope somebody picks it up.
Exactly. All the soldiers, and we already know. We live in a military town.
Mm-hmm.
We already know. You can't trust them jokes. But Lydia runs away with Wickham, who is very much older than her. She's very much underaged.
And now it's his second underage child that he's trying
But this one was a success for him because they do end up getting married, and they do end up being married for the entirety of the rest of the book. Mm-hmm. After that.
But did it throw you off that like his parents and everyone were so worried about finding her?
And then when they found her, it was all accepted.
No, they were finding her. Mrs. Bennet, and I quote, said, please, oh please, Mr. Bennet, please find her. And if they are not already married, please make sure they do it at once. I was like, what the fuck?
Okay,
I think that's because in old times, if
she was ruined.
Yeah, and then if you have sex with somebody and you don't get married, ain't nobody gonna want to marry you.
Yeah.
That's it. I've read a lot of historical romances, and as soon as somebody gets married or ruined, you're ruined from society. So you almost have to marry the person that ruined you.
Yeah.
Well,
or you kind of you're cut now a spinster because nobody ever is going to marry you again unless, something
sucks.
happens.
And it makes her seem shitty, but also I guess she was kind of protecting her in a way, but still hate her.
And we all know that Mr. Wickham is trash.
For
dog
real.
Trash. But anyways, so then in order to kind of get away from all of this mess, Elizabeth goes out with her aunt and uncle, and she kind of spends time away from the family. Jane is kind of still recovering from, like, she goes into a depression, like, for real. Like, girl is in the dark. Mm-hmm. She gets away from her. She's like, y'all are bringing me down. I already got enough of my life.
Vibes are off.
She goes and she ends up at Pembroke, or Pemberley. It's Pemberley.
Mhm.
And why I keep calling it Pembroke just sounds better. And she didn't know that was Darcy's estate until she got there, and I believe she figured it out because there were paintings of him in like when they were walking through.
Yeah, there was art or something.
And she's like, "Oh, this is what I'm missing. This is what I rejected."
She said, "Damn, that guy's kind of hot. He looks familiar."
Oh,
This
she
place
found
kind of
out.
looks nice.
That's right. She found out it was his right before they got there. And then they were like, well, he's not there.
And then
He's
Joker
never
shows up.
here.
And so they were like, oh, okay, well, I guess.
The
But
sister was there.
How freaking weird is that to show up to some place and just be like, hi, we don't know you. And
I
they're
think
like,
she mentioned that she met him.
but they go in and say hi, and the maid like takes them on a tour of the house.
Was that a thing?
No. The aunt knew somebody that worked there.
It seemed weird.
I mean, shoot.
They roll up in their carriage, they knock on the front door.
That was weird. I
The
wouldn't
maid's
be like,
he's not, no one's here right now. He's not here. And then they're like, oh, okay. And then she's like, well, I'll take you on a tour of the house. What?
I mean, I wouldn't say no.
It
okay.
just seemed really weird.
Let
to
me give you a scenario where I think this could work. So if the people that the aunt and uncle knew were like servants of the home, you could usually like if the owner wasn't there, they could have tea in the servants' quarter, and then like kind of meet there.
Yeah.
But it seemed like they were like more well off. So why would they be friends with the servants?
I mean, you could be friends whatever.
Because I think in
Whomever.
that time it wasn't like.
Yeah, it probably wasn't like the to do thing, but
Yeah.
I think the uncle was like a captain, and that's how he got his wealth. So he probably didn't start out wealthy, and he was with the people that weren't wealthy, and then he got some money and moved up.
Yeah.
That's maybe how they had that connection.
Yeah.
But after that,
Well, then Darcy shows up.
Darcy shows up.
Of course. Why would he not come to his own house?
Right. This has to be happily ever after.
Mm-hmm.
We have to bring it back to the fold. So Darcy's sister is actually there, and she gets to meet her. And this is the part of the movie that everybody loves. It's the hand flex part where
I have no fucking idea what you're talking about.
when you get to that part in the movie, you're gonna cry. You're gonna weep. So he hands her into the carriage, and when he walks away in the movie, his hand flexes out, and he's like, "Oh my god!" Like basically, like, "Oh my gosh, I just touched the love of my life."
The tingles through my body.
The tingles. I felt the spark. He had the spark.
The
I like
spark.
that she got to
It's the
meet his
residual
sister
shock.
though too.
So anyways, they leave. I think after
Well,
this is when they find Lydia
I
and they
think-
bring him back, and that's
Mhm.
kind of how they
Because
reconnect.
Darcy
Well,
initiated finding her.
Yes, because she sent a letter to Darcy to explain what was happening, and he helps them out.
but I think in the book, Darcy gave her the letter that said, like, this is why everything had happened.
Mhm.
And then to let them know that Bingley did love Jane.
Yeah,
And that he only left because of everything that they said. And so
Mhm.
she's like, I have to get back to let Jane know.
Mhm.
yeah,
And that's when they find out about the whole,
Lydia situation.
all the shit. But then Bingley finally comes back, and him and Jane become
Connect.
engaged.
Yeah,
And then Darcy comes, and he's basically like,
I ardently love you.
Yeah.
she doesn't say that in the book.
In the movie, it does.
Yeah.
I think he says ardently. I love that word.
Most ardent.
I'm most
he
ardent.
doesn't in the book because I was looking for it.
Oh dang. Well, he
Yeah.
basically says, "I love you, girl.
Mhm.
He
I'm
said
your man."
the first time he
You're my
proposes to her,
man.
it's better the first proposal. The first proposal by him was really good.
Yeah. What?
I think so.
What?
In the book.
You think the first one was better than the second one?
In the movie, it's raining. He's like,
It's not.
I
raining.
love.
In the
It's always
book.
raining. I
No,
love
okay.
you.
The first
You
proposal.
guys need to reread the book and then we can do this
Hold on,
again.
hold on. In the first proposal, he was like, basically, I like you a lot, but also you ain't got no money, and there's no reason why I should love you, but I do, and that's the reason why she rejects him. She's like, boy,
Oh, I guess I
excuse
forgot
me.
about
Yeah.
that. True.
The second one was like, yo, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I actually love you for you.
I made a mistake.
My delivery wasn't what it should be. So he changes that up, and they eventually get together, and they fall in love, and
they were already in love.
They were. It just took along. It's enemies to lovers, honey.
I love enemies to lovers.
It's enemies to lovers. So that's Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah,
I freaking love that book. I freaking love it. It's amazing.
Your accents are so good.
now you're Scottish.
If I did that, I would sound real dumb. I am Scottish.
I would sound real dumb.
I don't sound like that.
You did
you
for
do.
a second just then.
Every once in a while it comes out.
It comes out just like that.
You did
You
it
did
again.
it on purpose that time.
You did it again.
Oh my gosh.
No. Every once in a while somebody like will say something about it and then I start talking like a Valley girl. I'm like, oh my God, I would never say that.
Ew.
Switch it up.
Don't do that anymore.
Go a completely different direction.
I don't like that.
All right, guys. Pride and Prejudice is a 10 out of 10. Would smash. Would recommend.
Yep.
Would.
Fuck Darcy.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah. No, yeah.
Who are you gonna marry?
Well, I was
Bingley.
thinking Bingley. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is true. Bingley seems fun. He's not as worried about his
Reputation and all that jazz.
Yeah.
He loved that woman despite anything what society said, whatever. He
Yeah.
loved Jane.
Yeah.
And I can respect that.
This is
Mhm.
true. Can we kill Mrs. Bennett
I pointed
Well,
at
what
you.
about
or
Wickham?
Mr. Collins?
What are you supposed to say when I point at you?
Fuck Mrs. Bennett.
Catherine Devereaux. No, Anne.
What?
Get her out of the story.
Old lady?
No, her sickly daughter.
Oh.
Get her out of there.
What?
She's gonna die anyways.
Innocent bystander.
She was on the
She's half
deathbed.
dead anyway. Just
She was
run
on the
her over
cross.
with the carriage.
Woo. Crucified.
Yeah, I would kill Wickham because he's
Who,
a
Mr. Collins?
bad person.
Oh, Fitzwilliam. Like that's Darcy's name.
Wickham.
Wickham. Yeah. That's cool.
I'm still marrying Darcy.
And I mean, I could try to say an actor or somebody, I think, but the only thing I would picture is the movie. So
No, I don't have anybody. I do. think
Keira
I would-
Knightley.
I
Wait,
think I
no,
would-
Natalie Portman.
No, it's Keira Knightley.
I know, but Natalie
Oh, they
Portman.
look alike.
I
It was
would.
a joke, guys. Calm
Fuck
down. Mr.
Mr.
Collins.
Bingley. Ew.
Okay. Okay.
Fuck Bingley. Marry Darcy.
Yeah.
Kill Mrs. Bennett.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can
Only
agree with that.
because I like that Mr. Darcy is confident in himself, in his decisions, and he doesn't rely on other people to make choices. Like
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
all it took was them to say one thing about Jane to Mr. Bingley, and he was like, "Oh, you're right. I'll leave her," even though he loved her.
That's true. He's kind of like like an abused puppy.
Yeah, he's a follower, not a leader.
That's just what I think about him the whole
I
time.
mean, Darcy stands 10 toes down every single decision he makes. And he owns up to what he's saying. Like,
Yeah,
he was like, I mean, I could have been wrong, but I was looking out for my dude. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
At the beginning. And even he apologizes at the end and said, I'm sorry, I made a mistake, but I really was looking out for my friend. And I do love you. And I know you still don't come from nothing, but I love you regardless.
yeah.
You know?
I think I would just hurt Mr. Darcy's feelings too much, and he would break up with me.
But you would have a wing. You would have the east wing to go,
That's true.
and he would have his west wing to go and be hurt. And we can meet at the dining table on very, very large dining table, separate ends. And I'm eating my roast beef over here, and you can eat your dog food over there.
Okay, well, I know this answer, but smash or pass?
Smash.
Smash.
Bum, bum, bum. Smash.
I'll say smash. I think it was a good read. I'm glad I read it.
Mhm.
I don't know that I'd read it again.
I would, and I need to.
You should.
I love that book.
I gotta catch up again. It's
I
been
did the
a long time.
I did part audible, part reading.
Did you
And
prefer
at
one?
some points I did both.
Ooh.
I would listen and follow along because it was that hard for me to read.
It would probably be an easier listen, honestly.
It was hard for me to stay focused and follow along.
Yeah.
So I did actually do a lot of listening. When I could,
Mm-hmm.
I would listen and read at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the copy you got must have been.
Do you want to hear an excerpt?
Well, I
Girl,
don't know.
I already know.
Okay, so yours has like the the Jane Austen like picture on it. But the one that I had it was just like fancy and had like gold, whatever.
So you're telling me I suffered. She wrote again
you did.
when the visit was paid.
I would have gotten the unabridged.
She had seen Miss
for a
Bingley.
first time reader.
I did not think Caroline in spirits were her words, but she was very glad to see
It's like
me
when you read
and
a
reproached me
Beowulf
for
and you're
giving
like,
her no
the
notice
hell?
of my
Exactly.
coming to London.
Those are hard reads. But okay, if you want another recommendation of Jane Austen, which is another enemies to lovers, I have Pride and Prejudice and this book are like my top favorite. I can't pick either one.
Which one are you about to say?
Persuasion. I love that book.
I'm not reading it.
You know, I really liked Emma.
Yeah.
And they recently came out with the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think I got 40 minutes in. I was like, this is stupid. Hate it.
I like Emma, but Persuasion. I think that's the bomb.com.
Pride and Prejudice and zombies.
I was going to
And
say
Abraham Lincoln.
fairies.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, that's the end of the podcast. We appreciate you. We love you. If you want to follow us on any of our platforms, we are on Instagram at Enemies to Lovers.
It's okay.
I'm always hitting you. We're at Lovers Library Pod on Instagram. We also have Lovers Library Book Club on Instagram. We have a Facebook group that is Lovers Library Book Club. You can join. It is a private group. Still have to answer our 80 million questions. We don't actually have them. A lot of them. But we should. We should have all book trivia as our questions.
Right.
But you can also join that to join our community. We even have some chats I added recently.
Oh, yes.
If you want to get into that. So that's it. Y'all have a wonderful listening experience elsewhere. Have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next time.
Happily ever after.
Bye.
Bye.